Bois Inc. episode 47. I got Nate here with me. What's going on? I got to tab in. There we go. What's up?
Almost to 50.
Yeah, we're getting there. Almost, dude.
It's our next milestone, I guess.
Yeah, dude. It's almost been a full year.
Is it really?
The first
episode?
The first episode came out in fucking 2020.
Okay, all right.
It's weekly episodes, but as everyone knows, there's 52 weeks in a year, and we're on episode 47, damn near 3 years later. So, listen, I've been good though. I've been uploading clips. There's been an episode that came out every single day this week, either an episode or a clip.
That's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good so far. The channel's been doing like pretty well over the past couple days. The last episode popped off, but I think that's because I just timed it super well, like with current events, I guess. So the last episode did super well considering like the standard that it's at, where it's like, oh, maybe it'll get a couple views. This one in like 24 hours had like 100.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think the clips coming out is super helpful for just keeping up engagement. So I'm going to be doing more of that.
That's good.
So anyway, on to today's episode. We got some fun stuff to talk about. And it was weird because anytime I was looking at something to talk about, I was like, this is all kind of just the same premise over and over again. It's like mostly just people filming stupid shit happening, and then everyone else having like these brain dead arguments over what happens in the video. A lot of that going around recently. A lot of that. So I'm gonna start with one that's just a lot of fun. So there's, if anyone listening is into Reddit, they've probably seen this subreddit before. It's a very popular subreddit. A lot of their videos usually end up on the front page. It's called Public Freakout, where it's just videos of people flipping the fuck out in public, and you put them on the internet. Well, a video was uploaded there. Man. Yeah, a video was uploaded there recently in which there's an old guy at this grocery store, and he's really pissed off because apparently this is what people have been saying. I don't think this part was caught on video, but I think this is what everyone was saying happened was apparently one of the employees of the store called him some name. I think some people said it was like a racial slur. And the guy is like super pissed. So the guy's like freaking out, trying to get someone to like, he wants to talk to like the manager or whatever. Cause he's like, yo, one of your employees just called me a slur. And like, there's a separate group of people that gets involved with this old guy, where it's like some of these younger dudes that come up, and one of them tries to like shove this old guy, and then his like friends come up and like drag him away. And then there's this one white dude with his fucking man bun and his fucking beard, and he walks up to the guy like trying to calm him down, but also trying to act like a fucking badass the whole time. Like he stands there and then he kind of puts his hands up like he's about to fight. And he's like, I don't want to hit you, man. Stay out of my face. When like he walked up to the old guy. Like he walked up to him and then put his hands up and was like, don't make me hit you, man. I don't want to do it. And he's like approaching him like, don't get in my face. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? This guy is kind of just making a fool of himself. And everyone in the comments is like, man, this guy with the man bun, what a clown. Everyone immediately is clowning the man bun guy, not like any of the other people involved, not the employee, not the old guy. They're like, man, this dude with the fucking man bun, what the hell? Who is this guy? That is actually, yeah. The funny thing is, if anyone is interested in the game Smite, which I am, I've been interested in it for a while, they would recognize the guy with the man bun.
Is it somebody special?
It was someone special. It was a guy who fell off the face of the internet.
A streamer?
Yeah, it was a guy who fell off the face of the internet 3 years ago because he used to work for Hi-Rez, a company that makes video games, and one of them was Smite. and he used to be like a commentator, like he would commentate on esports games, and he used to be a Twitch streamer. He goes by the name DM Brandon. And he was sort of known in the community at the time for being one of the most toxic people, like, ever. There's a very famous clip. There's a very famous clip of him playing, and someone, I think, does a text-to-speech donation to his Twitch channel. And they were like, hey, Brandon, thanks for, everything you do. Your content has helped me through some very difficult times. I spent a lot of time like suicidal, but, it helped remind me that there was stuff to look forward to. And, I'm a lot better now. So I figured I'd just like give you $5 and say thanks. And then he goes like, shut the fuck up. I didn't need to hear that. Why would you say that?
Jesus, dude.
And like, to be fair, ultimately he tried to steer that in like a good direction, where he was like, why would you say that like my videos are what made you not kill yourself? Like, give yourself a little credit. Like, that's where he was kind of trying to go with it. Like, no, it was, you had the inner strength. Yes. You had the inner strength to keep going, right? Don't credit me with it. But starting it with shut the fuck up was not a strong opening line. And then he was known as like, kind of a fucking asshole the whole time. But then in 2020, some sexual assault allegations come out, and I don't know anything about the story. I just know that someone had alleged something against him, and then Hi-Rez was like, okay, well, we don't really want this guy working for us anymore, because like he was already kind of on thin ice for like being an asshole all the time and giving the game kind of a bad reputation. And then also he has a pending sexual assault allegation. Like, what, let's just wash our hands of this guy. So they said, okay, fuck it, we're banning him from streaming the game. Like, okay, he can't make any videos or stream based on our game anymore. And bro has not said anything since. Like, all of his social media is like still up, but he doesn't upload or post anything ever. And it has been that way for 3 years, up until this video of him about to throw hands with an old man in a grocery store comes out.
It happens to the best of us, let's be honest.
Yeah, really. I mean, honestly, like, can you really blame the guy? He was in a really bad state. It was in New Jersey. The store was in New Jersey when he was there. I mean, that's not even like illegal.
Yes. New
Jersey, I'm pretty sure, like, you can just, if it's in a grocery store, you're allowed to throw down. Like, I feel like New Jersey should have mutual combat. Yeah, I feel like it should have like mutual combat rules, and also like certain places that are designated like arenas where like any fighting is cool. So like the local grocery store should be like, you can just fucking go at it. I feel like New Jersey would be a lot more interesting as a state.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck goes on in New Jersey, really? Right. Like, New Jersey is really just like there to have all of the stuff that can't fit in New York, right? Like all of the like New York sports teams, like a bunch of them play in New Jersey because they can't fit a fucking stadium in New York City. Like, oh yeah, the New York Giants that play in New Jersey, or the New York Jets that play in New Jersey. Yeah, I don't know. But that was funny because then, everyone in the comments...
I got the fucking, like...
Yeah, go ahead.
The New York teams, why is there two baseball teams? Do you know? I mean, that's a random fucking question, but I just never got that. I guess it's just...
What, the Yankees? And
it's a big fucking city, but... Yankees and the Mets.
Yankees and the Mets, okay.
I mean, I guess one's like New York City and one's the state. Like, I have no fucking clue how that works.
Oh no, yeah, they'll do that for football too. It'll be like some cities just have multiple teams. So like technically New York State actually has 3 football teams. Right? So they have the New York Giants, the New York Jets, and the Buffalo Bills. Because Buffalo has its own team, and that's like New York State. But then California has got like a fuck ton of teams. Like LA has 2 teams. Like just the city of Los Angeles has 2 teams. It has the Chargers and the Rams. But then also it's got like
LA's fucking
yeah. Yeah, and then it's got
LA.
it's got the 49ers, it's got San Francisco. And I feel like there was another one. They used to have a team in Oakland, but they went to Vegas instead. I don't remember. I feel like there's a fourth like California team that I'm forgetting about. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think it's just like the more populated states get more teams.
Probably.
Right? Whereas like there's no like one northern, like very far north, like northeast coast state that has its own team, right? Like it'll be like the New England team. It's like, well, New England isn't.
Patriots then?
Yeah, well, New England belongs to like, it's not technically Rhode Island or New Hampshire or Vermont or Maine. States, right? It's like, oh yeah, all of them are like classified as like New England, and then they have that one team. Like, I mean, you could basically just call them the
football team.
Yeah, you could basically just call them the Boston team because Boston's kind of the biggest thing up there. But you know,
that's what I always thought of when I think of the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be wrong because, like, I mean, Massachusetts is New England, but like, New England just isn't big enough to have a bunch of separate teams. Fuck, I think Florida has a bunch of teams too, right? Florida's got Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa Bay. Yeah, they have 3. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they're all different cities, though.
Yeah. Yeah, at least they're different cities. But like, yeah, New York and LA both have 2 teams.
Like PA has different cities. Like we got for baseball, we got the Pirates and the Phillies and the fucking whatever.
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
I don't get why some cities have like multiple, or some like states will only have one. Like it's weird.
Yeah, it's true. It is funny whenever people talk about the Kansas City team because Kansas City is not in the state of Kansas.
Yeah,
that's always funny when it's like oh yeah, dude, I can't wait to see them take the trophy home to Kansas. It's like, it's not going to Kansas, it's going to Missouri. I think that's where Kansas City is. I think it's in Missouri technically.
What, dude? No fucking clue.
Something like that.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I know Kansas City is not actually entirely based in Kansas. I think most of it's outside of Kansas, which is funny.
I know that.
Yeah.
Just don't know where it actually is.
Yeah. If only there was some way to find out. So here's something interesting, right? It was cool just to see that video of him fighting that guy, and it was nice to see that like he's still just as hateable as he used to be, because everyone on Reddit was exposed to this guy for the first time in their life for 5 whole seconds, and they immediately hated him.
Yeah.
But now we got to get onto the even more obnoxious, stupid videos that have come out that are like way less fun. So, okay. Have you been following the bike Karen thing?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. It's a fun one. It's a fun one. It's basically everyone blowing this very minor situation into the fucking stratosphere. Like that's
common.
It's a short, maybe minute and a half long dispute over a bike, and it goes wrong. Full clickbait. It goes wrong, gone emotional, gone racist ?
Ooh.
I literally died. Not clickbait. I was there. I was the bike. Yeah. So So basically, here's what happens. We're in New York City. And you've seen those things before. It's the those rentable e-bikes that cities have.
Yeah, we got them here.
Okay, great. So basically, this video starts. I'm just going to start with exactly what we see in the video. The video starts, and it's this one like lady dressed in scrubs who's pregnant, arguing with a group of black teenagers over a city bike.
Okay.
They're arguing over who is technically paying for it. And then she starts screaming, help me. And then she like cries for a little bit. And some people have said they think it's her like fake crying. And then some other dude comes up and is like, hey, well, listen, if you're not sure who's paying for the bike, just dock it. And then one of you take it.
Right.
This isn't a big deal. You know, we're adults here. We can use our brains. We can use our brains. And that's about it. And then everyone decided that it has to be a big fucking issue for some reason.
That's usually how they go, these things.
Yeah, they saw this video.
It's more entertaining when it's a big issue.
Yeah, they saw this video and said, this shit cannot slide for some reason. I don't know why. And they made a big deal out of it. So basically a bunch of these like news organizations started reporting on it, and they blew this shit up way harder than they should have. This is like insane. I think a lot of them are probably going to be sued for this. Like, honest opinion. I think a lot of them have opened themselves up to lawsuits.
You would wish, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope, because their lawyer has.
You mean like the reporters themselves?
I mean, the
outlets, whatever the hell.
Yeah, the outlets. Yeah. Yeah, I think a few of them have probably done something that you could sue for. So, all right, basically what happens is a bunch of them start like blasting this story out because they're like, look, it's this white lady and she starts yelling for help. And the implication of her yelling for help is that she's trying to get someone to call the police so that the police will show up and fucking murder all of the black teenagers, because that's what cops do in America. Now, what America they're talking about, I don't know, because I've never seen that to be the case. like, holy shit. You think like, yeah, 911, what's your emergency? Me and some black teenagers are arguing over a bike. We'll dispatch an officer to come kill them all immediately. Yeah, exactly. We'll send the SWAT team, don't worry. They'll bring Kevlar and fully automatic vests. Their plate carriers are going to be like level 4. Okay? It's going to look like they're going into a war zone, all right? We're going to call in the tank, all right? If you like, ma'am, we do have an AC-130 overhead. We could carpet bomb the whole neighborhood if you just let us know. She's calling in her fucking tactical airstrike on a group of black teenagers. So, so they start blowing this up and start insinuating that her yelling for help when she's fighting these like black teenagers over a bike is her trying to get them murdered somehow. Which is, I don't think that follows at all. So then ABC News, I think it was ABC News.
No, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I believe it was ABC News decides they see in the video her name tag because she works in a hospital. She has her scrubs on and a name tag. They see her name tag and they somehow track down where she fucking lives. And they have a reporter go to her apartment building and set up outside and just talk to all of the people that live there. Be like, did you know that this fucking super racist lady lives here?
It's fucking retarded, man.
Yeah, like, oh, hey, you know, this lady that you live with, she could be a racist. Did you know that? And they're like, oh my God, I didn't know that. It's like, is that legal? Can you do that?
No.
Are you allowed to go just fucking camp outside someone's apartment building and just like say that shit about them? Like, I don't think you can do that, especially because they doxed her. Like, it's not like she was some famous person. She's just some random lady and they just showed her fucking apartment building on the news. Like, oh, okay. So anyway, over the next couple days, more bits and pieces of the story come out. So basically, this lady does the very smart thing, and she says nothing about it publicly, and she fucking hires a lawyer. A+ response. Right. Just get a fucking lawyer to say everything for you. So her lawyer is the only one that's done any talking for her side. And basically, he says, look, here's what we've got. We have proof that she was the one that rented the bike because at the time the video was being filmed. She has a charge.
That's still what's important here.
Yeah, she has a charge on her account for renting the bike. So clearly this must have been, it was her bike and the teens were coming up to her and trying to get it from her.
Right.
Or at least it wasn't their bike and she was trying to steal it, which is hilariously what a lot of these people were reporting this as. Like, that's what, like, they saw this video and that was their immediate assumption. Was like, okay, we have a group of teenagers and a super pregnant white nurse lady, and they're fighting over a bike.
Pregnant?
Yeah, she's 6 months pregnant.
Okay.
They're like, okay, the pregnant nurse is clearly accosting these teenagers for this bike. That must be what's happening. There's simply no other way. This is the most likely thing here. Like,
God.
Like as though there is like a history of, oh yeah, there's a lot of pregnant women that just bully teenagers for their things. But we haven't been seeing that a whole lot. But then they come back with another slam dunk. The main guy in the video who's arguing with her over the bike, his sister puts up a video on TikTok to exonerate him and be like, no, listen, this lady is the one at fault. Because this lady actually saw him with the bike and then ran up and, quote, impaled herself on it. I don't know why she said it like that. I don't know what the fuck she meant by that. Because she was like, yeah, she came up and impaled herself on the bike and then wouldn't get off of it. And then she shows her receipt for the thing.
Impaled?
Yeah, I thought impaled was kind of a strange word to use because she was just sitting on the bike. Like, she's just sitting on it. So
it sounds like we don't know what impaled means.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. So here's what happened. Okay, I saw a video on this breaking down this whole timeline. I think it was actually a super good video. It was by Nate the Lawyer. He did a really good breakdown of just like the facts on this. So shout out to that guy. That guy did a fucking awesome job with this. But basically, this teenager, he's in this program. Basically, this Citibike is the company that runs the rental bikes, and they have an app, and they have basically a membership that you can buy where you pay like a monthly fee and you get like reduced rates on renting bikes.
Okay.
And he's in like, I think a special, like there's a certain subsect like program. I think it's like if you're on like, I think some sort of government program or something. I can't remember. I think it said something about being on SNAP, which I think is kind of like food stamps. I don't remember, honestly. But basically he has this version of the monthly subscription where it costs like a certain amount of money, and you get in exchange you get unlimited free 45-minute long bike rides. So you scan the bike on your account and then it will give you 45 minutes where it doesn't charge you. But then for every like minute after that, it will charge you. And then if it's one of the e-bikes, like one of the ones with a motor, it charges you even more. So basically the idea here is you can use it for 45 minutes, but then you have to dock it and then have it sit there in the dock for a certain amount of time, like for a cooldown period until you're allowed another 45-minute ride. So this kid rents the bike for like a little over 45 minutes. I think it was like 46 minutes and change. So he gets charged like 37 cents. And he produces that receipt. His sister posts that receipt. So he rides it for 46 minutes and then docks it. And then when it's docked, that's when this lady comes up and tries to get the bike. And the dude was trying to reserve the bike, which you're not really allowed to do by like, because in that like cooldown period between your 45-minute rides, it's available for anyone to rent it. It's like anyone is allowed to use it. You're not allowed to just like camp out on it and wait the 45 minutes or however long the in-between period is. So basically he didn't want to give up the bike, and then that's why they fought over it, is my like reading of this situation.
That's the whole story.
I believe so. So then, yeah, basically this lady, she's a physician's assistant. She gets out of a 12-hour shift and she's 6 months pregnant. And then she went and fucking threw down with these black teenagers over a bike. That's the situation that we're in. But everyone felt the need to immediately jump to conclusions before any of this information was out. So after the video came out, a bunch of people were saying some borderline crazy shit. I think, what's his name? Something like, I think it's Richard Ritchie, something like that. there's some like online pundit guy that was saying some fucking ridiculous shit like, okay, yeah, basically this lady is just trying to get these people fucking murdered. She's clearly racist, like that shit. And it's like, okay, I think that might be like, I think you might be able to sue him for that. He deleted it, and then I think he retracted it. I think he uploaded a different video that was like basically a please don't sue me, but not, he didn't say those words exactly.
Right.
But yeah, a bunch of places did shit like that. So
I don't know, man. These things are fucking stupid.
Yeah, you know, it's been a lot of fun to see it develop, because now all of the people have to be like, oh my god, there actually isn't a plague of pregnant women attacking teenagers over petty crimes. Like, oh yeah, and then
Christ,
the real actual, like, the only good part of the story I can see is in the video when they're arguing. Basically they're both being shitty, right? So the lady is being shitty because she's like yelling for help, but she doesn't, she does seem kind of smug, like, to me. I'm not trying to like bite this lady's head off for this, but like, I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of leeway on this. Like, you know, she's super pregnant and she just got done working 12-hour shift. Like, okay, whatever. Like, you give a little bit of grace for that kind of thing. And like at one point she grabs the dude's phone, but then gives it back to him, which is like, I mean, she can't do that. Like, that's stealing. But then she just gave it back immediately. And there's been no criminal charges pressed either way on this too, which is even funnier. Like, it's just the video. Like, no one is being punished for this at all because there was really no crime. But another shout out to the one guy in the video who's on the e-bike right next to them in the purple hoodie. That guy is like clearly the person that should be held up in like, oh wow, this is one of two reasonable people that were here. Because
what's he doing?
So he was on an e-bike and he was presumably with the rest of the group because he's a black teenager and he was talking with the other guys. So a lot of people just say like they're friends. So I'll operate under that assumption. But basically he was like, listen, man, just give her the bike. It's not a big deal, whatever. And then he like is not having it. So then the guy in the purple hoodie is like, all right, fine, just let her take my bike. Like, it's not that big a deal. There's other bikes here that aren't motorized. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
So then he gives up his e-bike so the pregnant lady can have it, and he just presumably takes a regular bike. Shout out to that guy. Okay. That's exactly how you diffuse this whole situation. Like,
yes.
Yeah, okay, you know what? Just shout out that guy. That's just good on him. That's what you should do. And then the other guy, the random one, like one dude that came up after she started yelling for help, that was like, well, listen, just dock the bike and then we'll know who's paying for it. Like, yep, that is a good idea. They should have done that. They didn't, but they should have. For some reason, that guy was catching strays in a lot of the coverage too. I don't know why.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. But yeah, we're gonna get a little more goofy now. We're just kind of descending at this point.
Okay.
Have you heard of Mizzy?
Yeah, keep going, man.
Yeah. Have you heard of Mizzy?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Now this series of videos, is great because it really just. I like that everyone had the same reaction to this, because as soon as I saw the video, I had a very like palpable reaction to it. I had a very strong reaction. I was like, oh shit, I think this. And then every single person that I've heard talk about it has had the same exact initial reaction. I'm kind of a bot on this one. So basically it's this guy, he's in the UK and he's a TikTok prankster. And his whole channel is kind of a shit show of him just being a public nuisance in like really, really shitty ways. So, for instance, one of the pranks that he did is he walks up to a group of girls that are waiting for a train at night, and he walks up to them and he's got his hands in his pockets, and then he starts touching one of them. He starts like stroking her hair, and then he's talking to one of the other
What
girls,
the fuck?
and he just goes, "Do you want to die?" And she's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, it's a good prank, dude.
Yeah, she's
That's
like,
a fucking classic.
and she's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Do you want to die? You can die right now. Do you want to die? Do you want me to do it?" Like, just going up to people and freaking them the fuck out. Yeah. There's one where he just goes up and screams in this guy's face just on the street and then asks him if he wants to die. And the guy handles it super well. He's just like, "What the fuck? What are you doing, dude?" No, I don't want to die. What the fuck? He's just like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" Like, the guy handles it super well. And then the greatest prank of all time. He's walking down the street and he sees there's a lady outside of her house and she's sweeping like her front stoop, right? Like, she's sweeping outside and the door is cracked. Because, like, you know, why close the door if you're just standing out on the step? So then him and one of his friends just walk into this lady's house. Like, some random stranger's house. They're like, "Fuck it, we just walk in."
Right.
And
Okay.
they just go in and pretend like they're looking for a study group or something. They're like, "Oh, I thought the study group was here, blah, blah, blah." Like, they just walked into this lady's house. They walked right past her up the steps and she's like, "Wait, stop. What are you doing? Who are you?" Like, what the fuck? And her husband's inside with their fucking kids because their young children are in the house when they walk in. And he's like, "Yeah, you guys have to leave. You can't do this." And then they both left. So,
fuck, man.
Can I ask you what your initial reaction to this is? Because we probably would agree.
Kill him?
Yeah.
Put him in jail?
Well,
at the very least?
So my reaction was, I mean, the UK is probably the only place you can do this.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if that happened in the United States, it's over. You're fucked. Like,
no, you're in jail at the very least, yeah.
Yeah, but you definitely can't go walking into random people's houses. You'll be shot in the face. No. Like, you can't, like, yes. If you're just walking up.
So, Jesus Christ.
Exactly. If you just walk up to someone at a train station at night and you're like, "Do you want to die?" And you're just like touching them, it's like, you will just get shot. You will just get lit up. Like, and I'm glad everyone had that reaction, because just like fucking based America over here. You love to see it. You love to see the people that are like, "You don't need guns for any blah, 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 whatever." And then it's like, "Oh yeah, UK, how's that working out for you? You have these random dudes just accosting people on the street."
Yeah, seriously, dude, come on.
And like, he knows you can't do shit about it. So basically he gets fined for this. Let me actually pull up the number exactly. But this ends him in a little bit of hot water, because he ends up with a fine for basically trespassing in people's houses.
Okay.
Let me see the exact amount, actually. I'm looking for a calculator. Hold on. Where can I just get a fucking... Okay, all right, here we go. Perfect. All right, perfect. Yeah, I was just on Google. Okay. Sweet. So he had to pay a fine and in like a fine plus court fees, and it added up to a whopping 350 pound sterling. 350 British pounds, which in USD is $432. Okay. He had to pay $430, and they were like, "Okay, we're good. Yep, just wash our hands of this. It's $430, including the court fees. It's $430.
It's fucking nothing."
Yeah, it was. They kind of let him off with a warning, basically. But I think a bunch of his social media. Yeah. I think a bunch of his social medias got taken down. Like, I think he got banned on like TikTok and Instagram and shit. Which is, good. I mean, if you're committing crimes, you shouldn't.
Cares? That's not a punishment.
Yeah, exactly. But then some more stuff happened. So basically, he goes on Piers Morgan. He decides an interview on Piers Morgan is a good move for him at this point. And like, okay, I mean, how can you blame him? Piers Morgan is kind of a clown. Like, every clip I've seen of him is like not good. Like. The thing I associate Piers Morgan with in my mind is I saw clips of him debating Andrew Tate, And like, that's gotta be an easy interview, right? That's gotta be an easy interview to like make the guy you're talking to look kind of dumb. Like, it can't be hard. Like, you're talking to a guy who is admitted to a multitude of crimes on the internet. Like, I think Andrew Tate's funny, but like, I mean, he also has admitted to human trafficking on several occasions. So, you know, kind of an easy dunk. But Piers Morgan failed to do it. In this fucking clip, he's talking to Andrew Tate, and he's like, "Well, Andrew, you know, you've said some mean things about women," and he's like what? He's like, "Well, you've said that women of a certain age, you wouldn't want to date them," and he's like, "Okay, and he's like, "Well, that's sexist," and he's like, "No, it's not." He's like, "If anything, it's like ageist, because he'd still date young women." He's like, no, I like young women though. And he's like, Piers Morgan's galaxy brain response to this is, if it's mean to any woman at all, it's sexist.
Is that how it works now?
Yeah, I guess so. So like, dude, how did you end up getting destroyed by fucking Andrew Tate? You have to, if anything you said upsets a woman in any way.
If Andrew Tate is making valid remarks about sexism.
Yeah, really.
Of all things.
Yeah. But yeah, so Mizzy comes on, Piers Morgan, and he's like, "Yeah, listen, man, I think people have been giving me a bad rap. It's not that big a deal. Everything I was doing was like a trend on TikTok at the time." So they're arguing back and forth about it. And I actually saw this interview and I had to join the fucking Mizzy fan club. I'm this guy's #1 fan now. I love it.
Okay.
Because this guy, he's on Piers Morgan and he's like, you know, why are you doing this? Like, what the fuck? Like, you know, this is illegal, right? And he's like, well, yeah, but is it though? Because they won't punish me for it. He's like, the UK's laws are too weak. Why would I stop? It's like, shit, he's right. Fuck. So they're arguing back and forth, and he's like, well, no, but it doesn't matter because I don't respect the UK because they're not going to punish me for this. So why would I stop? I'm not gonna. Like, he's like, listen, I don't understand why, if you weren't there physically, you have any reason to be upset with this. I didn't prank you, Piers Morgan. And then they get into a funny little tidbit in the interview where Piers Morgan is like, well, you did post that one video. I think the trend was like, it was basically, remember when people in high school or middle school would like dunk on each other? Remember when that was big?
What do you mean? Like just jumping? Yeah.
It was like you would be walking in the hallway or something, and then someone would run up behind someone and just like dunk on them. I remember that shit a lot in like middle school.
Yeah, kind of.
Basically, he was kind of doing something like that, where basically he would just run up behind people and like jump over them and shit, or like jump on them. And basically, there's one of these videos where he does it, and there's an Orthodox Jewish man standing on the sidewalk, and Mizzy runs up and jumps and basically shoves this guy into the street. Now, thankfully, he didn't get hit by a fucking car, but like, I mean, he could have. He didn't though.
Yeah.
And then Piers Morgan decides to bring this up, and he goes, well, I mean, do you think it's okay that you went and pranked that Orthodox Jewish man? And Mizzy's like, well, no, because I wasn't being anti-Semitic about it, because I pushed a bunch of people into traffic. Black, white, man, woman, Orthodox Jew, non-Orthodox Jew. I didn't discriminate. I'd be pranking everyone by pushing them into the street.
Right.
And it's funny that like that's where he draws the line. Right? He's like, listen, I will be a public scumbag that harasses people and trespasses on property and threatens people with fucking killing them. I wouldn't be racist though.
No, of course not.
Like, no, you can't hit me with that one. That one, that's off limits to you, Piers Morgan. You can't do that. I'm not racist. And then Piers Morgan makes the ultimate fucking blunder because he brought that up and Mizzy's black. So now it's over for him, because then Mizzy's like, well, are you racist? And then the whole thing's over. It's over. It's unrecoverable. The whole conversation has been torpedoed in a random direction. But apparently, yeah, so he pays the fine, and then I think earlier today or maybe yesterday, he actually got arrested. Like I think they're trying to make an example out of him, maybe. I don't know. They'll probably still just let him off with another warning, probably, because it's the UK and they're cucked.
Right.
But like they arrested him again and they haven't said yeah, they are pretty cucked. I mean, let's be honest.
No, they are. Of course they are.
I mean, I feel like the cops probably showed up and they held the handcuffs in front of him and were like, please. Like, that's how they arrest people. Just, please, could you put these on?
Come on, dude. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Bruv. Come on, bruv. Like, that's how they gotta fucking arrest people. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of their cops don't even carry guns.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
How do you do shit?
I don't know. I've seen an alarmingly high amount of clips of British cops getting into fights where they resort to hitting people with their car. They're like, fuck, I can't beat him. And then they hop in their car and just like run you over.
Fucking awesome, man.
It's kind of awesome, actually. Yeah, I really like that. I like that the cops, like in the United States, it's like the cops will just shoot you if you're like attacking them.
Right.
But like in Britain, they have to get in their fucking car and they hit you with it until you stop. And it's you know, they're like the really fucking shitty like European cars, so they're all small and underpowered, so they have to keep hitting you with them. It's not like, oh, he was driving a big fucking lifted truck. It was like, no, he hits you with a VW bug-sized police car with gay sirens. Like, it's gonna take
what sirens?
Gay sirens.
Gay sirens?
The sirens kind of sound gay. They're not like wee woo. They're like, it sounds like two people fucking, honestly. It sounds like people moaning. It's really funny.
Okay.
So they arrested him. So it seems like he probably didn't get very much out of this, considering his social media was taken down and now he's been fined and arrested for it. Which would have you believe that quite possibly crime does not pay.
Maybe.
Well, you'd be wrong.
But I have a feeling that's not the case.
It absolutely does. It absolutely pays. I saw this other story today. This one's back in the United States. So keep in mind, in the United States, you can't, go around fucking walking into people's houses and harassing people at night on the train because they will just shoot you.
Depends where you live.
I mean, even then.
The citizens will shoot you in most places.
Oh, absolutely. The citizens. Yeah. Like even if you're in a city, it's like, dude, even if that guy doesn't have a gun, he will still fuck you up. Like, you walk into some random guy's house, like it's on. So Britain, you can get away with those things. In the US, here's what you can get away with. The city of Pennsylvania, the city of Philadelphia. I almost said the city of Pennsylvania, and then I was like, wait a minute, the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Nearly had to kill myself. But basically they finally decided to make a stand and really help out the little guy. Okay. They finally said, enough of this political bullshit where nothing gets done and the common man suffers. We're going to give rights to the citizens of this great city. And the first right that they decided to give back to the people in the wonderful city of Philadelphia is, I mean, I guess you're allowed to just drunk drive now. No more sober driving as mandatory by law. It's incredible. Finally, dude, drunk drivers finally getting their day.
Well, congrats, man.
Yeah, really.
Feels good.
Yeah, and I can't wait until I'm done recording and I can go
exercise that, right?
Exactly. I'm gonna go drive in Philly like a fucking asshole, dude. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna go get wasted and then drive the wrong side of the road, drunk as fuck. So, how did we arrive here? Well, they didn't actually change any of the laws. It is still technically illegal.
Okay.
But I would say there is now so much precedent on the side of just fucking let them do it that I think you have a solid chance in court if you do get caught driving under the influence. So there's a lady very local to us because I've seen a bunch of stuff from her rap sheet and I'm like, oh, I know where that is.
Shit, dude.
She is kind of a serial reckless / drunk driver. So there's lots of instances where she'll be.
She's got a checklist.
Yeah, she does. Every couple months or years or whatever, she'll just randomly like get caught drunk driving. Now, how you keep doing this and they don't stop you from fucking driving, I don't know. But there was one instance where she was drunk driving down the wrong side of the road and she head-on collided with someone.
Fuck.
Now, thankfully, the person she hit lived. They were injured, but at least they survived. So this lady clearly, you know, the justice system is going to give her what she deserves. They have to.
Yeah, I would hope so.
She's being a public menace in all these different places. It was like, oh, you know, she has a thing in Philly. She's driving like a fucking maniac on Kelly Drive because that's what Kelly Drive needed, was people driving like maniacs more. We needed that to be allowed there. Oh, then at this point now she's caught in Horsham, and then at this point she's in fucking Abington, like whatever. It's like, what the fuck? It was like, oh, a hit and run and blah blah blah, all this shit. It's like, okay, this lady clearly needs to not be allowed to drive. And justice has been served because she sued the city of Philadelphia for basically, I think, I guess you'd call it malpractice. Basically, that they weren't treating her fair enough in the eyes of the law. And Philadelphia has...
what was her argument? Like, I'm an alcoholic or some stupid shit?
I don't think so. I think her argument was she doesn't need one because the city of Philadelphia has a policy where if someone's suing for that kind of thing, they just try to settle it. They don't fight it, they just settle. So justice has been served and she's been awarded $300,000.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, sick. That's awesome. So crime absolutely does pay.
Nice.
If you just commit a bunch of crimes and then sue the city of Philadelphia, they will just give you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That is incredibly reassuring. As somebody who lives in here.
Yeah, no, that's actually great. I mean, at this point, like, dude, if you're broke, don't go do like experiments for people, right? Don't participate in data surveys or anything. Just be a fucking criminal. Like, just drive drunk,
I might as well.
Get arrested, bail yourself out, have your lawyer send a note like, I am upset, and then they'll just give you money.
I'm upset.
Yeah, it's just an infinite money glitch.
Please don't. Well.
Yeah, exactly. And then they'll just be like, all right, fuck it. Have $300,000. Sorry, we arrested you for being a fucking danger to the public. Our bad. You're right.
Won't happen again.
I mean, it will. It will happen again, and she'll be there to fucking collect when it does. So just in case anyone was wondering whether or not being a criminal was a viable career, I mean, she's set, dude. Like,
yes.
Imagine how many beers she can buy with that.
It's a lot of beers, dude.
Imagine the vehicle she could purchase with $300,000. It would be some shit out of like Twisted Metal. It'd be like some Mad Max fucking vehicle on the road. Like at this point, she should just really pony up and just buy a fucking monster truck. Like, I think it should be like people are just on the sidewalk in Philly, just walking, minding their own business. And then fucking Gravedigger shows up and just runs them all down and just paints the sidewalk red. I think that's what justice looks like. Justice is blind, but that's how I picture it. Yeah, that's real fucked up.
That's completely fair.
Yeah, this is the justice system providing justice. There was a lawsuit that just actually got canceled though in other news that I'm glad did, because it was kind of a bullshit lawsuit. We were talking a little bit about football and baseball earlier. Do you know who Brett Favre is?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically,
I feel like I've heard the name.
He is a former quarterback for the Packers. He used to be the quarterback for Green Bay, and then he retired, and now he's just kind of around. Well, I think maybe a year or two ago at this point, it was a while ago, but basically some controversy broke out where it came out that Brett Favre was involved in this weird scheme that was basically funneling money away from the state of Mississippi's welfare program and instead sending it to these different places that would basically just benefit him. Now, it was alleged because no one could it hadn't been proven in a court of law because the state of Mississippi isn't suing him over, criminally suing him. I believe they're civilly suing him, and they've demanded he give the money back, and I think he did.
Okay.
But basically, the problem was a bunch of people reported on this, mainly Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee. I'm not sure how he wants his last name pronounced, but basically they're two sports commentators that do these two different shows. And basically Brett Favre said, I'm going to sue you guys because you guys didn't say allegedly enough.
The fuck? Enough?
Basically,
so they did say it.
I don't remember. It was basically reporting, it wasn't that, I guess it wasn't that they were reporting anything that was technically untrue. But it was that they were saying oh, look, the words that they were using to describe him, he contests, right? So I think specifically with Pat McAfee, it was on his show, he said that Brett Favre was a thief and was stealing from poor people in Mississippi because if what happened is true, then he was funneling money away from Mississippi's welfare program. And it was okay. $1.1 million that got funneled away.
Shit.
So he was suing over that, basically over saying that he's a thief. I didn't steal it. It's okay, but the state of Mississippi said give that money back, and then you did. Kind of weird if you didn't steal it.
Right.
That's kind of odd. So yeah, he ended up taking both of them to court, and it hadn't actually gotten to court yet, but then I think about a week ago now, he dropped the case against Pat. I think he still has one open against Shannon Sharp, though. So I guess he's going after him, but he dropped the one against Pat McAfee, which is cool because Pat McAfee was being pretty cool about the whole thing. He said he got a letter demanding that he take the video down and publicly apologize or whatever, and he just didn't. And he was he's it's funny because he addressed the letter to his lawyer, who he doesn't have a lawyer. He was fuck it, I don't really need one, I'll just represent myself because this is some bullshit. And then
that's pretty cool.
And then he dropped the lawsuit, and then they were both all right, listen, this is kind of stupid. I think Pat McAfee tweeted something about it where he was yeah, he dropped the lawsuit. That's fine because I didn't really want to keep talking about this stuff. He realized my show is really a bunch of it is jokes, so I was just joking about him. And then Brett Favre responded yeah, I mean, it's honestly better we both go back to talking about football. We both prefer that. But he's still suing Shannon Sharp, so I don't know. Maybe he just really dislikes Shannon Sharp. I don't know. At least I think he is. I saw that he dropped the one against Pat, and I don't think he dropped the one against Shannon. So I guess ultimately crime might pay.
Okay.
Because it seems like Mizzy is down and Brett Favre is down, actually, because Brett Favre had he allegedly received the $1.1 million. And it was broken up into different installments. So I think his the school that he used to go to got a big upgrade because of it. I think something to do with one of his kids got a bunch of money, something like that. I don't remember. I'd have to read the story again, but it was basically blah, 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 whatever. And then Mississippi said, okay, give us the money back. It went, here's $500,000. And then they sent another letter okay, now all of it? Like, we know you got more than $500,000. And he was like, okay, fine, here's the other 600,000. And then they're like, okay, and now the interest. And he's like, oh, there's interest. So I think he's still on the hook for like a couple $100,000. But
Okay.
But then that one lady got $300,000. So maybe if she like helps Brett Favre out, maybe Brett Favre could like, I don't know, maybe he could get in on this drunk driving thing. He could be like her drunk driver. Like she turns this whole thing into a racket. Maybe that could be interesting, right? She hires Brett Favre. She like buys out his interest contract and is like, listen, now you're going to go head to Philadelphia and get fucking trashed and then start driving and then sue the city. And then the money she gets from that, she can hire more people. And then, you know, at some point she's a CEO.
Right.
It just keeps working. And until eventually she's just like the fucking Baron of Philadelphia. Just Philadelphia has a fucking warlord that drives around in the sickest fucking car ever, always wasted as fuck. The thing is covered in armor because otherwise it'll be destroyed instantly. I think that's a cool direction for the city to go. I think something that the United
better than what we have now.
I think the United States is severely lacking urban warlords.
Yeah, it really is, dude.
No,
it's kind of ridiculous.
Actually, I think it's not. I think it's lacking state-funded urban warlords. I think we have plenty of regular self-made urban warlords. Like if you go to like the fucked up parts of like Chicago or something, like I'm sure there's lots of urban warlords there.
There's plenty.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot, but you know, I'm sure they had to actually like get there themselves. They had to get there by their own fucking grind set. Whereas she's just cheating and having the state do it. Dude, leave it to the fucking government to come in and destroy competition. Am I right? This is ridiculous, man. I hate this. Oh,
fuck shit, dude.
Yeah. All right. I found another funny one. So this is a funny thing that happened. Speaking of, I guess, Mizzy and TikTok, I think like TikTok is like, I think the people that argue that it's like not that bad are underestimating the effect that it's having, right? I've never been someone that thought TikTok was like too big a deal. Like, oh, there's a campaign to ban it. Yeah, it's like, there's a campaign to ban it or whatever, but like, if they ban it, like then
to ban everything. Yeah,
it's like, you know, then another app will just step up and do the same thing, and then we're back where we fucking started. And like, does it really change anything? Like if people weren't doing stupid shit on TikTok, they'd just be doing stupid shit somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's plenty of stupid trends that have started from Instagram, and no one is like, there's no big movement to ban Instagram because no one fucking wants to, because Instagram is fun.
Yeah.
Well, I saw something interesting a couple days ago, and I was like, oh shit, wait a minute. I see how you could probably use this to socially engineer people. And I saw it manifest in a weird way where I think it was just accidental. I don't think it was like on purpose at all. So the story starts where any good story obviously starts, on Pornhub.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm on Pornhub. I click on the search bar, and you know how when you click on the search bar, it will just show you a bunch of trending searches?
Of course not. I've never been on the site.
Okay, so basically Pornhub is where porn is kept. Okay? Basically, if you click... basically there's a special button on your browser that will enable you to activate incognito mode. Now, I know you've never used this because your search history is just like completely angelic.
No, I'm a pure Christian boy.
Yeah. Yes. Your search history is like, is it gay if I love Jesus too much? Like, how much room should I leave for the Holy Spirit when I'm hugging my wife? Like that's what your like search bar is like. But mine, a dirty degenerate like me going on the hub every now and then, basically when you click on the search bar, it'll show you a bunch of trending searches, and sometimes I just like to look at them and be like, huh, what are people searching? Well, one of them was weird. I looked at it and I was like, huh, that's strange. Why is Chun-Li a trending search? That's kind of random. Like the Street Fighter character. She's a character from Street Fighter. She's the girl with in the blue that kicks people. And I was like, huh, that's kind of a random one. I don't know what that's about. All right, anyway. And then I just like went on with my day. And then later I opened up TikTok and saw this guy talking about this huge problem that TikTok was having, where basically there was this one event. It was like the December 23rd event, if you know anything about TikTok lore, where basically a bunch of people just decided on December 23rd to just start uploading straight up porn. Just straight up like shit that should get banned immediately.
To test the censors, or
well, just because there's no way they could censor all of it. Right? If everyone is just posting if everyone is just posting like just all kinds of fucking porn, then how can they do anything about it? They can't ban everything being uploaded that day. Well, there was another event very similar that just happened like a couple days ago, where basically they said, okay, well, wait, what if we don't just post it? What if we instead create a filter, which is a feature that you can use on TikTok, where you're like, then other people can use your filter.
Okay.
And what if the filter has porn in it? So the filter was like, it'll have two squares above your head, and it'll be like, oh, which one would you choose, right? And it's like, an innocuous use would be like, oh, it's like a picture of a slice of pizza or an ice cream cone. It's like, oh, which one would you eat? And then you tilt your head towards whichever one you'd want. But then, of course, people were like, okay, now make it smash or pass. Like, which one would you rather smash? But then what if the picture was just like drawings of them being railed? And what if every single fucking filter was that? Certainly some of them would have to make it through, right? They're not just going to say, fuck it, no more filters today.
Yeah.
So I was watching this video of this guy explain it, and he was talking about the characters that were being propagated using the filter. Now, I didn't check the filter because I didn't really want to see any of that shit. But like, he was like, yeah, so, some of the characters are like the sister from Demon Slayer, whatever from this series, Chun-Li from Street Fighter. And I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
The sister?
Yeah.
Isn't the sister like a kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. The Demon Slayer fan base is very strange.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're weebs. But...
I mean, and the show is super weird, too. I've been watching through it.
I have not seen it.
It's not great.
My roommate watches it from time to time. But like...
It's not awesome, I'll be honest. I don't really like it. I've been watching it just so I can be caught up on it, because it's like nice to have a series where I can just be like, oh yeah, okay, there's everything, and then just watch it and be like, wow, this is dumb, and then just be caught up. Because like, I'm nearly there on One Piece, but more episodes just keep coming out, so I'm like, okay, well, let me just take these small wins where I can get them.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of weird seeing everything again. Like, oh wait a minute, hold on, this is really strange. But anyway, the guy's like, yeah, the characters, they're very prolific on the filter, and then he says Chun-Li is in there, and I was like, wait a minute, is that why it was on the fucking thing? I was like, wait a minute, maybe TikTok, maybe people saw the Chun-Li filter on TikTok, and then we're like, damn, I just gotta jerk off to her now.
Oh.
Like, maybe that's what happened. I was like, oh, maybe. Huh, that's kind of a weird ripple effect that I didn't... Like, it's weird because I saw the ripple and was like, huh, that's weird, and then saw the thing that could have created it, and I was like, oh. Okay, interesting. I didn't think that would affect this, right? You wouldn't think, like, some fuckery that happens on TikTok would influence, like, top porn search results. But, like, it might. I can't prove that they're related, but they just seem related to me.
They might be.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. I thought like, okay, well, wait a minute. That does kind of prove exactly what the anti-TikTok people have been saying, that like it could totally be used for nefarious purposes. Now I don't know if it is, but it certainly could be. Like
Is that the anti-TikTok argument right now?
I don't know. The anti-TikTok argument has done a really bad job of like manifesting itself.
I thought it had more to do with like the whole fucking China thing.
It sort of does, and I think that's honestly one of the weaker points that they have, is that it's China. Like, I sort of understand what they're saying, but it's sort of bullshit anyway, I think. Because they're like, yeah, no, it's bad because then China is spying on all these people. And it's like, okay, so you don't want China to have any of this information. Great. Okay, cool. Let's walk this principle out then. Why is it that we're banning TikTok but not like Facebook? Because China is still getting that information.
They're just those are American-owned companies.
Yeah,
but that's what their point is.
Yeah, but like Facebook is still selling information to China.
No, I know, I agree. I'm just saying that's their point.
Yeah, no, I understand that they're saying that.
Advocate here.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally understand. It's like, well, I mean, I guess it is better if at least one American guy is getting rich off of the information being given to China rather than giving it to them for free. But at the end of the day, it's not that much different because they have it whether you ban TikTok or not.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of one of the weaker points that they have. But when they're like, oh yeah, no, look at what it's doing to people. It's like, I think that's a way more persuasive argument. Right? Like, we have no way to hold them accountable for fucking with people, right? Like, if they wanted to, they could just add subliminal messages and shit. And then, like, it's super fucking easy for them to just like, hey, stop doing that. And then they can't. You can't make them stop. Like, I think that's really the best argument is like, oh, well, you know, whereas like if Facebook was doing something straight up that fucked up, you could be like, Mark Zuckerberg, you need to get in front of Congress and look like a robot for an hour and a half so people can make memes about you. And then you send him home and let him keep doing whatever it is he's doing. Like, listen, we need to all publicly ridicule Mark Zuckerberg for not being human for the next hour, and then he can leave and continue doing whatever we were mad at him for.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought,
Zuckerberg was,
Yeah, I think all that shit is, I'm sure most of like the big tech rich guys are like making money doing fucked up shit, and then they're just like paying money to have that not be a problem. So I think the TikTok thing is like, I think a lot of the people arguing it are sort of being hypocritical, like, oh, it's just bad because it's China. It's like, well, I agree that it's not good that it's China. Like, I don't like that it's China, but at the same time, it's like, well, they're going to get the information either way if we're just cool with Mark Zuckerberg doing whatever the fuck he wants. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did I send you that one clip? You've seen the memes about that one guy from the fucking like bad medical soap opera, the fucking autistic guy that's yelling about being a surgeon?
Yes. Dude, all the good doctor memes, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, did I send you that one? It was
fucking awesome.
It was they just confirmed the cast, like the casting decision for live action Avatar. They just leaked who the Fire Lord is going to be.
No, who is it?
It's Daniel Day Kim.
Who's that?
He was I think he was on Lost. He was in a couple of TV shows that I haven't watched, and he was I know him as the voice of Johnny Gat from Saints Row, but also he was the doctor that was the doctor that was firing the autistic surgeon in that clip. If you've seen that clip, and he's yelling about Dr. Han, he's Dr. Han. It's Daniel Day Kim. It's like the super Chad looking Asian dude.
Yeah, he's fucking that guy. Okay.
Yeah. So there was
the very square face.
Yeah, he looks like the real life like Giga Chad dude. He's like,
yes.
they have him as the Fire Lord, which is like, all right. I mean, I think live action Avatar is gonna suck, but that's a good casting
he was
choice.
in the original.
Oh, was he? Who did he voice?
I don't know.
Huh?
I'm looking at
Because the Fire
General
Lord.
Fong. Who the fuck was that?
Okay, I was gonna say the Fire Lord in Avatar was Mark Hamill, so it couldn't have been Daniel Day
Who
Kim
the
for
fuck is
that.
General Fong? He's General Fong. Minor antagonist turned anti-hero.
Oh, I don't
The main
remember.
antagonist in the season 2 episode, The Avatar State? What?
Oh, fuck! He's the
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Remember
He was that
yeah.
Earthbender guy.
Yeah, he was trying to force him to go into the Avatar state, and he like dropped Katara into the floor.
Yeah, he was in like one episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, they casted him to be the live action Fire Lord Ozai. So then I saw an edit of it where it's that clip, but it's like the guy yelling is like shopped, so he's bald and he has an airbender tattoo and he's like crying. And it's like it just cuts to him like Dr. Han like looking at him and he has the Fire Lord clothes on. It's like live Fire Lord reaction. Like yeah, I fucking love that shit. I don't know why it's so funny, but like it is literally just the Virgin Chad meme again.
Yeah.
I like that people can just be entertained by that joke over and over, me included, because it's fucking hilarious.
No, it never gets old.
Yeah, it's a good one. Such a stupid fucking... I don't know, and I like that everyone started memeing on like doctor shows after that, where they're like, oh yeah, Dr. House is every episode is just like this. I'm like, yeah, it's some guy came in with literally incurable disease.
He's got toothpicks in his ass.
Yeah, exactly. There's just some like random fucking twist. You had no idea. There's no way you could have predicted it.
Like, no, he doesn't have toothpicks in his ass.
Yeah. How do you know? Did you look? No, well, I ran the scan and it didn't. It's like, the scan can't detect wood. It's like, oh, fuck, he got him. Oh, shit, it can't. Oh, fuck, man.
Dude, I never watched that show, but like, I get the point, you know?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing commercials for that Good Doctor show, like, when it first came out. And I just remember thinking, like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, what is their plan here? This isn't going to go well for anybody.
I love shit like that. You just see it and you're like, that's not gonna work.
No.
Yeah, dude.
I just don't get it.
Yeah. It was funny. The first time I saw an episode of One Piece, it has like the animation company's like logo drop right at the beginning. I'm like, the show's from 1999, so it's a very 90s like title drop. And I saw it and I was like, there's no way this company still exists. It does, though. I was shocked. I found out it is still around. But I saw the Toei animation thing. I was like, I've never fucking heard of these guys ever.
What's the logo?
It's like this weird like cat with a musketeer
hat.
Oh,
isn't it just like a cat?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that for the first time in the super fucking 90s like way it animated on screen, and it had like a super cliche like sound effect or whatever. And I was like, no way they're still around. They are. I just couldn't help but be like, that is old shit right there. I would have figured it like would have changed hands or something, but no, they were smart enough to hold on to that license, unfortunately, because the company sucks. But what can you do, right? Oh yeah, fucking that just reminded me. Dude, speaking of One Piece, the author of One Piece is having people shit talk him on Twitter by probably, I mean, I would guess it's maybe 15 people total that are very, very upset with him right now.
The author of like the original book, or
Yeah.
like the manga, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very upset with him because one of his characters is not trans.
Okay.
He just basically confirmed something that
I just
everyone
saw
already
something
knew.
about the live action. What was it? I just saw some like major update about the live action.
Oh, I actually
can't
haven't.
remember what it was.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen whatever like news there is.
I think it was just like they released the poster or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll be an event. That will surely be one of the Netflix originals of all time.
Yeah, dude. I didn't watch much One Piece.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I might watch the first episode just because like you have to.
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm gonna watch it for sure, but you know.
I want to see what they do. Dude, my biggest thing is like, what the fuck are they planning to do with like just anything? You know, I mean, like this is a very cartoony kind of. I'm guessing they're gonna really limit when he uses the fucking gum power shit. But
yeah, I mean they'd have to, right? Like, how are they gonna make it look good ever?
I just want to see that, man.
Yeah,
I want to see that.
Yeah, I gotta see them at least try. Yeah, I don't have high hopes, but yeah. So basically, one of the characters, some people decided the hill to die on was that this one character was super trans this whole time, even though like you don't really have any good reason to say that she is. And on top of that, it's a fictional character who fucking cares. Especially when there's another character that actually is trans and no one fucking cares because it's not a big deal because it's a fucking fictional character. It seems very strange to shit yourself over this. Where basically he created this character and she's a girl and he draws her as a girl. He gives her a huge pair of tits because of course he did.
Yeah.
Except when she talks to people, she introduces herself specifically as a dude that is a historical figure.
Okay.
So that's like if you went around introducing yourself as like a dead president. Like, that'd be like if I was like, yo, what's up, Nate? And you're like, it's not Nate, it's JFK now. I'm JFK. And I'm like, you changed your name to JFK? And you're like, no, I am him. I'm literally him.
What the fuck?
Like, insisting that, like, no, it's not that you have the same name. It's that you are him. You are the same exact person. But the person in question is a dude, and the fictional character is a woman. So she's a woman, but the historical figure that she picks is a dude. So she keeps introducing herself as a guy. And one of the basically the bad guys refer to her as one person's son instead of their daughter. And that's it. That's all of the evidence in favor of her being trans. Are those two things. Now, the evidence against is the first evidence is, I mean, he drew her as a woman and it doesn't matter because she's a fictional character anyway, so why does it matter? And also, in one of the Q&As he does, he draws these like biographical things about certain characters, and in that one he basically says, like, he refers to her as she the whole time, right? The author did.
Yeah. Like,
the author uses she, her in reference to this character. Why would he make them trans and then misgender his own character? Unless he's incredibly based, which maybe. But like... And then people got really fucking mad because a couple of days ago he put out a full page like color spread, just like in the middle of the whatever, and it was all of the show's like female characters just like chilling on this background, and she was there, like the one character that they all thought was trans is hanging out with all the female characters.
People are mad.
What's up?
Because she's supposed to be a dude.
No, she's hanging out with all of the females from the whole series, are all like on this page basically,
Right.
and she is there.
And that's why they met.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why a couple of them were like, you know what? Maybe we should just kill him. Like a very small contingent of people were like, maybe we just kill him. Maybe we just kill Oda for this.
Isn't he like super fucking old?
He's not elderly, but he's definitely getting up there. I think
somebody else.
He's probably in like his 50s or 60s, maybe. So he's not elderly.
Something else then.
Yeah, I don't think so. He's still got a lot of life left. Because he's not even 40. He's not even 50. He's 48.
Oh, it's not even 50. Oh shit! I thought it was like hella old for some reason.
Yeah, no, bro, is 48. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So he's fucking no, but people were just super fucking tilted over it, and I don't understand because I would keep seeing people talk about it, and then there was always that one motherfucker in the comments that's like, "You use the wrong pronouns. It's he, him." It's like, are you really trying to correct someone for using the wrong pronouns for a character that doesn't fucking exist? Like, oh no, look out, you might misgender someone who isn't real. You might hurt their imaginary feelings. Like, not only...
Dude, people get way too worked up over, like, fictional shit.
Yeah, it's kind of
so do I,
hilarious.
because, like, my fucking hard on for Star Wars or whatever, but... aside from that...
Yeah. Dude, it's gotta be a rough time to be a Star Wars fan.
Dude, it is. We are just fucking missing.
Yeah, it seems like it's... I mean, it's so funny to me that, like, remember when Disney bought Lucasfilms and Marvel at the same time? Everyone was like... yeah, it was either at the same time or they were, like, right next to each other. And everyone was like, oh my god, dude, they bought Lucasfilms. I mean, that's going to be so much money. And everyone's like, oh, and I guess they got Marvel too or whatever. And, like, now Marvel makes way more money than Star Wars does.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, come on, man. How are you not making money with Star Wars? What the fuck? How are you fumbling this badly?
Keep churning out terrible shit. Dude, they just gotta stop, man. Yeah. I don't even want them to try anymore. Just fucking stop.
Yeah, like, just leave it alone, dude.
Show us you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta just...
Yeah, that's always the funny thing to me is, like, okay, the original trilogy, those are just, like, good movies. Like, those movies are just good. Like, you don't need to, like, qualify.
Like, fantastic. I mean, they were, like, my favorites, but...
Yeah, but you don't need to qualify.
They weren't meant to be anything, like, profound, is what I mean. They're just good movies.
Yeah, they're just solid movies. Like, you like, here's the thing. You won't hear people be like, the original trilogy was actually way worse than the fucking prequels or the sequels.
No, because it's fucking retarded.
Yeah. And then the prequels come out, and then it's like, okay, I mean, I guess, like, on really good Star Wars movies, it's now 1 for 1. Like, okay, the prequels aren't great, but, like, they're funny to watch, but they're not, like, good movies.
Right.
So now half of Star Wars movies are, like, good. Now they're outnumbered 2 to 3 or 2 to 1.
Well, that and then the spin-offs and the TV shows and the fucking, like, everything, dude.
Yeah, like, mainline Star Wars movies that are good are outnumbered. For every good one, there's at least 2 bad ones.
Yeah.
They're almost up to 3 to 1 because fucking Solo and Rogue One or whatever.
Dude, Solo was ass.
Yeah.
It's the worst one.
Yeah, I remember.
Did you see that one?
No, I didn't. I saw some review that some guy did, and I was like, this sounds fucking awful. Why would I ever watch this?
No, it was terrible. I think the only part that I liked was Donald Glover.
Yeah. Yeah, Donald Glover's good in, like, pretty much everything he's in, though.
Yeah, that's true.
He's just a cool guy, I think. Yeah, I don't know. But the Star Wars thing is funny just because it's like, I don't know how they're not making money with this. This seems like it would be so easy. Like, how do you lose money with Star Wars, dude? It's like, that's one of the most popular fucking franchises ever. It's so fucking stupid. Like, wouldn't it be funny if they had to sell it, though?
You could really just like start re-releasing the originals in theaters. That's how you make money with Star Wars.
Yeah.
People will come to see it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if they just were like, fuck it, all of them are running in theaters again, people would be like, all right, well, I mean, I guess, why not? I know those ones are good. Like, I know what I'm getting now. I know it'll be of a certain quality. But yeah, everything they just put out now sucks. And you know, I can't wait for all the remakes that Netflix is doing. Woo. That's gonna be great also. It's not like they're adapting two of my favorite things and they have their hands on the third one.
Yeah.
Dude,
what's the third one?
JoJo.
Oh shit. I didn't know they were working on that.
Part 6 was Netflix exclusive. And they released it in batches, which was a fucking terrible idea. I don't know why the fuck they did that. Absolutely killed all of the hype for it. Like, it was an alright adaptation, but I don't think Netflix did it. I think they subcontracted a studio to do it or something like that.
Yeah.
So the actual adaptation was fine. I think it could have done a lot better, but it certainly could have been way worse too.
Okay.
But
I still haven't seen any of that one.
Yeah, I really hope they get their shit together before part 7, because that's one that they really can't fuck up. Because, like, that one is probably the best one. Like, if they fuck that one up, it is so bad for them.
Part 6 is the best.
No, part 7.
Is that what you said? Oh, part 7.
Yeah. Part 7 is, like, recognized as, like, probably the best part. Part 6 is weird. Some people really like it, and some people really hate it. I'm kind of, like, lukewarm on it. I'm like, it's fine. It's definitely, like, towards the lower end of, like, ranking them if I had to rank them. But it's not bad.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad, and there's stuff to like in there. But a lot of the fights are, like, becoming a lot more ridiculous in nature. Like, a lot of them are just like, oh, okay, so we've gone from fights that, like, were sort of grounded in reality, not really, but at least they were easy to understand, to, like, if there was no running narration, you would have no idea what the fuck is going on now. Like, it used to be like some guy would show up and he would be like, oh, this is my superpower, and it's that I can make fire. And it's like, okay, he can make fire. Got it. That's really simple. It's hot. It burns things. If it touches you, it hurts. So you fight him, and you don't let the fire touch you, and then you'll win.
Right.
And then it's like, part 6 is like, oh, this guy that we just killed made a ghost crocodile appear, and it's invisible, and I need to run to this other room and fight a bunch of zombies that he's put there somehow. And then I can beat up his ghost form that's still there controlling all of them. It's like, wait, the fight started with you killing him? It's like, yes. It's like, wait, huh? What the fuck? They snuck up and killed him immediately, and then the fight started? Huh? Yes, yeah. Part 6, they get a little goofy, but there's still cool ones in there. There's still really interesting ones. It's like, oh, what if there was something that didn't want to kill you, but you needed to capture it because it was plot important. But the closer you get to it, as you get closer and closer, you start to shrink proportionally to how close you get, so you can never reach it because you will keep getting smaller. So it will keep getting further away. Like, you will shrink infinitely small. How do you capture it? It's like, oh, okay. That's kind of interesting. All right, fair enough. And then, some people really, really hate the Bohemian Rhapsody fight, and I think it's awesome.
Bohemian Rhapsody fight.
Yeah, well, yeah, all the powers are music references.
Right.
So,
But do they actually play songs over the fights?
No. They usually don't.
Oh, okay.
They usually don't license the songs, but they'll straight up be called that.
Okay.
So the guy's like, "Oh yeah, I have my ability, Bohemian Rhapsody, and it does this." And I thought it was really fun. And they had to edit out my favorite fucking line because, of course they did. But at least they sort of replaced some of the bits, because that fight is super weird because it involves a bunch of trademarked characters that they do not own the trademark to and would be very expensive to try to license. So for instance, it references a bunch of Disney shit, but it's not owned by Disney. I think it's being made technically by Warner Brothers, so they have a bunch of trademarked characters that they can refer to, but none of them that were in the manga, because the manga was doing Disney, because the whole point is they're in Florida and one of them sees an ad for Disneyland or whatever, Disney World, whichever one is in Florida.
Yeah.
And he sees the pamphlet.
Yeah, that's well.
Yeah, he sees the pamphlet and he's like, "What the fuck is this? Why is Mickey Mouse not on here? There's a spot where Mickey Mouse is supposed to be, but he's just gone." And he's getting really upset about it. He's super pissed. He's yelling. He's like, "What the fuck is this shit? If there's no Mickey, then this shit isn't Disney." That's a direct quote. If there's no Mickey, then this shit ain't Disney.
I remember that. You told me that.
Yeah, and they had to edit that part out. That's oh, damn it, man. And then they replaced a lot of the references with Warner Brothers stuff, but they don't show them, but it'll be they'll at least name drop it. So it'll be instead of
show the Warner Brothers shit?
They don't show it just because they would have to just be inventing new scenes at that point.
Oh, okay.
But basically it's the
thing when they change it.
Yeah, it's the thing with Mickey Mouse is now they say Batman instead. Because they're allowed to say Batman, but not Mickey Mouse. But I thought it was fun. I thought the adaptation was all right. And then, part 7, hope to God they don't do batches, because part 7 really deserves better. Part 6 did deserve better, because that's one of the ones that people shit on a lot. And I think they kind of overhate it a little bit. They don't really give it as much credit as it should have. But I don't know. I digress, I suppose. I don't know. Let's see. Did I have anything else to talk about? Not really. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, for sure. You got anything you want to talk about, or should we wrap up?
Shit, I did.
Oh, sick.
You know what? I did. What the fuck was it? Oh, okay. As I'm sure everybody is aware, they released the Little Mermaid revival or remake, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And as everybody knows, there were some controversial casting choices.
Yeah, you could definitely say that.
Have you heard what they're doing fairly regularly?
What do you mean?
So first of all, the first thing they did that's just terrible, right? Is I think Rotten Tomatoes didn't let them do it, but they tried to do something to remove the negative reviews from Rotten Tomatoes, because people apparently were, in their words, negative review bombing the movie.
I love that. That's something they're allowed to do, is they go, if there's too many bad reviews, we can just get rid of them. It's they're
review bombing. Yeah.
They're review bombing it. It's so you're just getting a lot of bad reviews. What? Yeah. What is the threshold for review bombing? This is just I don't know. It's bullshit. Continue. Keep going.
God, dude, it's like, so they basically tried to do the whole remove the dislike counter thing from Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, okay.
Rotten Tomatoes didn't let them do it.
Based Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, I know. But of course, the reviews are ass.
Yeah.
But the other thing they're doing is the cast keeps doing these interviews. And I think they kind of ran out of interviews on like just talk shows that exist. Okay. So now they're just posting videos by themselves, basically.
No, all the talk shows were like, we don't care. And they're like, fuck it, I guess we just do our own.
So it's all like, what's the actress's name? Haley something, right?
Halle Berry?
No, it's not Halle Berry. Halle Berry's like old as fuck. Oh. It's Halle Bailey, I think, or Haley Bailey. It's probably Halle Bailey.
Oh, but okay. I was close.
Halle Bailey was Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's old.
Okay.
But
mermaids don't get old. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, she's doing those videos, and she's like, "Yeah, you know, it's just sad to see how fucking racist people are."
Okay.
Okay. You know, like, I get that that's an easy jump to make. You know, people are saying like we don't want the black recasting.
Yeah.
That's an easy jump to make. You know.
Sure. But I can see why she would say that.
The kid is recasting.
Yeah. Like, it's not just some random movie about a mermaid and they're complaining it's not a white lady. It's
we're not going to watch it because it's a black main character. No.
Yeah, they're like, no.
It's you remade the story.
Yeah. It's weird to
you
take
made this character black, you made this character Hispanic, you made this character Asian just to have your little checklist.
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of weird if you're like remaking a movie that a bunch of people grew up with and you're trying to remake it and repackage it for them now, the same people that grew up with it, and you go, yeah, but we changed a bunch of shit, so it's not how you remember it. It's like, oh, those people are mad at you now. Like, I don't really care, but I never watched The Little Mermaid.
I don't care because I'm not going to fucking see it.
Yeah, I'm not going to see it, and I haven't watched either of the movies, so I'm not like, oh no, my childhood. But you know, when you are making it targeted at certain people's childhood and then they're mad because it's not how they remember it, it's like, well, I mean, you sort of signed up for that.
Yeah. So I definitely saw the other one at some point when I was a kid. I barely remember it, so I'm guessing I was younger. But the other thing I heard that I thought was really fucking funny was I was watching this review of it and I was like, this will be what I do instead of actually watching it.
Yeah.
So apparently in the original movie, she has like 10 fucking sisters or some crazy shit because they're all the king's daughters.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. And then in the new movie, the dude that was reviewing it was like, I'm going to make a prediction that, like, for no explained reason, right, they're going to use this $10 opportunity to, like, represent every race imaginable, even though that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Right? Even though that doesn't make any fucking sense, assuming the king is faithful to his
king
wife.
has a very diverse range, a stable, if you would, of ethnically diverse sex slave fish women.
Right.
Can you imagine watching this movie and not knowing that bit of lore? You would be so lost. You would be so confused if you didn't know the expanded lore of The Little Mermaid. The king likes his fish vagina in all different flavors.
It's cloaca.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what fish have.
I don't know. Do fish have cloacas?
I don't know, dude.
So
let's just call it their blowhole.
I'm just gonna like assume that going into it, and then sure enough, that's exactly what they did. You know, he puts up a picture. And he's like, yeah, so these are the sisters from the movie. And you look at the sisters, it's like, okay, well, it's the main character who's black. Then there's an Asian one. There's a Latina one. There's like a white blonde one. There's a few white ones with like different hair colors. There's a few Latino ones with like different hair colors.
Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be sick?
Every imaginable race is represented in this group of siblings.
Dude, I just want to see...
Just how it occurs naturally.
I just want to see the movie just say what all of the executives were thinking when they decided that. Like, I want the king to break that down, right? I want him to be like, yeah, listen, look, here's my family, the black one, the Asian one, the Latina one, and then he points at like the white blonde one. He's like, the normal one, the other one. Like, it's just
standard package.
Yeah, the regular one, the one that I like that one. Like, that's what all the fucking the executives were like, fuck, we were supposed to write that part out. Like, oh no, fuck.
We forgot.
Yeah, we forgot to put that part out. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, The Little Mermaid fucking, I don't know, like, I guess the target demographic is just people that grew up with it. But then why would you change a bunch of shit? That's like obvious.
I watched it at some point when I was a kid, but like I don't remember it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you have sisters.
There was never a big Disney movie for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, I mean, I never watched it, but I always thought it was kind of for girls anyway.
The for girls thing never stopped me growing up because I grew up with two sisters.
Yeah, well, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like
they usually had majority rules on the TV.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say.
But
yeah. I mean, it's easier if like you have sisters to be like, oh
that
yeah,
was
it was
just never one of the ones that.
Yeah, it was just on.
Chose.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you know, you get fucking outvoted or whatever on movie night or some shit. Like, whereas like
we usually watch fucking what was it? I don't know. Aladdin was a big one.
Dude, I fucking loved Aladdin when I was growing up. Aladdin slaps. Aladdin's great. Another one they remade for no reason.
I just watched it for the genie.
Yeah, Robin Williams is great. Yeah, no, Aladdin's great. I
rewatched it recently.
Okay.
Because I wanted to show my ex-girlfriend, and she had never seen it. So I was like, all right, we gotta watch fucking
Your ex-girlfriend? Is this like...
This is my ex-girlfriend, like the girl I dated from last year.
Okay.
I'm still dating the one that you know.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, sweet. I was like,
still, don't worry.
I was like, wait, did I miss? Okay, I was like, wait, did I just miss something? What the fuck? I was like, wait, when?
No,
okay, all right,
not recent.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. So, we were watching Aladdin in like my dorm, and I didn't realize like there's like a good fucking 20 to 30 minutes of movie before Robin Williams even comes in.
Yeah.
We're just like fucking nothing happens because it's a Disney movie.
Yeah.
So
yeah, dude, it's him and his pet monkey.
Why did you like this movie as a kid?
Stealing bread.
We're like 10 minutes in, I'm like, no, I don't know. I was like, I don't remember there being this much movie without the genie. I was like, I guess I just like the genie parts.
Yeah, I mean, I like the parts even before the genie shows up. It's him and his monkey hanging out, stealing a loaf of bread.
Yeah, the monkey was kind of cool.
I like the monkey. That was sick. Oh, yeah, it was funny. There was another thing that happened recently that was like sort of like the Little Mermaid thing. It kind of coincided with it, I think. Where it was back to Netflix, because Netflix can't catch a fucking break, because I don't know why it keeps sticking its dick in this beehive over and over and over again. But they made some show about Cleopatra and made her like very black.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, wait a minute, Cleopatra wasn't black though. Why would you do that?
Yeah, well, do you know who made that show?
No, I don't.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh no. Oh no, is it, dude? Oh, I hope it's just her projecting. I hope the show is like, it's about Cleopatra and she's really black and she's like bald and she constantly like cucks every dude that she meets, and she's like, everyone loves her because of it, because she's just so real.
Dude, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, so this whole thing where people were breaking it down in autistic detail, how like she probably was not black. And they're like, well, you know, she was the ruler of Egypt, and Egypt is in Africa. And it's like, well, yeah, but that doesn't,
how it fucking works.
that doesn't prove anything. In fact, like, you know, the whole thing at the time was that Egypt was kind of the crossroads of the entire world. Like, you know, they were kind of up in everyone's shit because the Nile was strategically very important. So, you know, a lot of Greek and Roman involvement in the area, and a bunch of shit from the Middle East, like with Persia. Like there was a bunch of people getting all up in Egypt's business. And also Cleopatra, I think, if you look at her family, I think her family was Macedonian, which would make her Greek. So she'd probably be Mediterranean looking, so probably white. Not like Scandinavian white,
probably
but like
even less fucking
she probably wouldn't look like she's fucking. Yeah. She wouldn't look Aryan or anything. Yeah, she wouldn't look like that, but she'd be like, she wouldn't be black. She'd look like Greek. Like I'm pretty sure Greek people are still white though. Like they're kind of tan skin, but like they're definitely not black and they're definitely not Middle Eastern. So it would have made more sense to have her look like that. I think I saw something where they were talking about maybe casting Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
And like she probably would have looked a lot closer. Like that's
Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah. Like okay, that skin tone is definitely much closer to what she probably looked like.
That's Cleopatra, yeah. I mean, I don't fucking know, but like I would assume.
Yeah, well, like hypothetically, like if you did look at her now, I mean, yeah, you could probably like that wouldn't be unbelievable if it was a show about Cleopatra and they had her. You'd be like, okay, I mean, that's probably a good balance, probably. Like, all right, you know what? I'll give you that one. But no, they did not do that. They decided, yeah, fuck it. Cleopatra is like, she looks Zulu now. It's like, okay, well, now that's just fucking not true. Like, I don't know. I do think it's funny that the people that were like in favor of it being Black Cleopatra are also the people that worry about things being whitewashed. Like that's the shit that I think is funny when they're like, whenever anyone's telling any historical tale, they're always like,
blackwashing.
Yeah,
people just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, they're always like, well, listen, you know, you're just looking at all of this through whatever, like the white colonial lens, and it was like, okay, they're making a show about Cleopatra, and they're like, make her black. It doesn't matter what she actually looked like. Who cares? It's like, okay, well, that's kind of inconsistent, isn't it? Like, I don't know. I think the people that take that shit too seriously are dumb. Like, just straight up.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of stupid to be that invested in something like that. Like, and then I think the show even had some sort of defense for it where they're like, oh, it's more of a docudrama than a hard, you know, adjust the facts. Like, it's, you know, sort of a dramatic reenactment, so it doesn't really matter. It's like, okay, well, all right, I guess. And then I think a bunch of people were like, I think there were a bunch of people that were like super into Egyptian history that were like, yeah, it turns out that's like one of the less egregious things was making her black. Like there were other things that they really docudramaed the fuck out of it. It's like, okay, that's probably not how that went. Like that's one of the sort of more minor weird things. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I think like there is probably a huge market for just trolling people like that. Like that's something I've sort of been like keying into recently, where I think a lot of the people that act like that, they'd have to be trolling.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no way that they just keep doing this accidentally, right? Like Netflix keeps doing the same thing over and over and it keeps blowing up in the exact same way and they don't care. Like with Netflix, the two things to avoid are stupid casting decisions and remaking things that you're not going to do properly. And they keep doing both at the same time. So at some point it's like, okay, they got to be doing it on purpose, right? Like they have to. There's no way they keep accidentally doing it. It can't be profitable for them. Like, do you think Cowboy Bebop made them a lot of money? Like, probably not.
Dude, I haven't heard shit about that afterwards.
Yeah, they canceled it.
I mean, I heard it sucked initially and then just like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it came out and they went, okay, well, no more of this. People didn't like it. It's like, well, yeah, no shit. Like, of course, because the guy that fucking made it, you didn't let him do anything on it. And it was like, that, like, the guy that wrote Cowboy Bebop was like, yeah, I have no idea what the fuck they're doing. It's out of my hands. I can only hope that they make it good. And then you cast fucking an elderly man to play Spike. John Cho is like not bad, but like he's a little too old to be Spike. And then fucking the most fucking standoffish Faye Valentine ever. You just have Faye Valentine, except she's like an aggressive feminist or some shit, like going for that archetype, like in real life. Like she got cast and then immediately was like, I can just fuck with people now. Like they posted some promo thing and then immediately she was fighting with people over it. It's like, if you're an actor, like, why do you want this adversarial relationship with people, right? You shouldn't be slap fighting with the fans of the thing that you're in. Like, even if they are being out of line. Like, I don't think they were necessarily being out of line. I'm sure there were some that were going way too far. But, like, generally, I saw what they were saying. They were like, wait a minute, this lady doesn't look like Faye Valentine at all. Why would you cast her like this? To which the actress's response was really funny because she didn't know shit about the show then. Because she was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry that the woman that fits Faye's description doesn't exist because she's like 6'5" and has fucking double D cup tits. And then everyone was like, 6'5"? She's 5'8". What are you talking about? What? Did you watch the fucking show? You're the actress cast to be this character, and then you're telling people she's like a foot taller than she's supposed to be? What are you talking about? What the fuck is wrong with you? And then the costume looks all fucking goofy because they didn't want to sexualize her too much, but then it's like, okay, well, she doesn't look the same, and she doesn't dress the same, and she probably doesn't act the same. It's like, well, why the fuck are you adapting this? Like, you should have just gotten Faye Valentine cosplayers to be her. That would have been better. At least they fucking dressed the part. Like,
yeah,
they just copied the costume. It's like, oh, okay, great. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't know how John Cho is supposed to be fucking Spike, because I doubt that guy can move how Spike is supposed to move at that age. I just remember seeing him and being like, oh, wow. How old is this guy again? Like, this is kind of ridiculous. I think they honestly didn't even realize that would be the controversy because they cast a black dude to be Jet. But that no one cared because
Jet Asian.
Not really. I don't know. It's so like, I guess it depends what you think of. Like,
I always find it hard to tell an anime.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like, that's sort of the weird debate about anime generally is like, are the characters technically Asian even though they're drawn with very white features? Like, a lot of anime don't make the characters look Asian because they'll give them like these fucking huge eyes and like really colorful hair and all this shit. And it's like, okay, well, Asian people don't really look like that though. So like, are they white? Like, so are they supposed to be white? Like, they're not. They draw them all very fucking pale looking and with huge eyes. Like, that's kind of, I don't know. So in Cowboy Bebop, he was kind of in that sort of general thing. Like, he was kind of in that weird uncanny valley where he's kind of in between. But his name is Jet Black, and I think he was voiced by a black dude. So it was like, okay, it wasn't that much of a stretch to be like, yeah, okay, he's a black guy. Like, yeah, I mean, you know, fair enough. Like, that one I didn't really care because it was like, it didn't feel like they race swapped him. It felt like he was always just a black character anyway. Like, yeah. You can argue over whether or not it's a good idea to have your black character named Jet Black, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess. This has been episode 47 of the Bois Incorporated podcast. Thanks, everyone, for listening. More clips coming soon. I hope people have been liking the clips I've been putting up. I've had a lot of fun making them, so more of those on the way. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next week.